Hello, this is Sammy with our mini homestead. Uh, this video today, we're going to be talking about starting seeds indoors for a longer season. It's part two of preparing your garden for this coming spring. If you have not watched part one, uh, you can go ahead and watch it first. It's about working uh, outside, preparing the garden beds, either raised garden beds or in the ground. So go ahead and enjoy the video, and we'll, uh, we'll show you every step on the way for it. Thank you. So last year we started seeds indoors, practically for a lot of seeds. Used the seedlings that has 72 cell in it. It was 6 this way, 12 this way. It was too small of a cell that the plants needed to be transplanted too early because it's exhausted the feed that's or the nutrition that's in the seed, and the feed starting mix doesn't have any nutrition, so it's needed to be transplanted to a bigger pot and then transplanted to the soil or the garden bed afterward, which I didn't have that time and ability to keep transplanting. And when they were transplanted to the soil, they suffered. They were either too young, or we waited and they didn't have nutrition enough in the seed. So anyway, so this year, trying to minimize indoor starting seeds as much as we can, manage the time, and also use bigger cells. And we put a little bit of fertilizer in the bottom of the cell and cover it with seed starting mix, and we start the seeds indoors this way. Also last year we didn't use any grow lights, although we have a very good window that brings sun in, but the plants were like trying to go leggies toward the window. So this year we're using the same window, but as well as the same way we're using grow lights on the top, so the plants grows up. Hopefully they don't get leggy. So this way we can keep them in the larger cell longer. They will have some food in the bottom of the cell that the roots can get to, and then when the plants are big enough to go outside, or take it outside. I don't have the ability to accumulate the plant to take it outside a couple of hours, bring it back in, and then next day 3 hours and back in, and then so forth. I cannot do that, so I just do what I'm able to do. So you cannot see my face, but I wanted you to see this. That's more important than my face. So I'm going to prepare that, put some rabbit manure in the bottom, very few pieces in each cell, mix the seed starting mix make it moist, and then I'll take it inside, put the seeds in, and we'll go from there. Go get some water. This is a mixer that I have at hand for now. it's better to get the seed starting mix mostly moist before you put it in the seedlings uh, containers. Uh, if you don't and you start to water uh, your plants, the water will float on the top and it will not go down easy. But if the whole mix is already moist, then the water will go down and work out its way down so the roots can benefit from it. We get some more water and come back. It gets messy sometimes. And because of that, and because of using the, the rabbit manure, that's why I'm doing this in the shop, and then I'll take it in the house to put the seeds in. Uh, Obviously, using the rabbit manure doesn't smell. However, if there is any smell, it will be covered with seed starting mix. There is no smell in the house. Last year, I purchased some organic fertilizers to give the plants some food uh, while it's still indoor, and it smelled bad. We couldn't sleep. We had to take it outside, and we ended up dumping that tray. Okay, this is ready to go. I could have mixed with this. I'm not thinking. So we're here in the house now in this room that we designated for whatever storage or whatever. And we're using this window facing south. Sun comes in to do our indoor starting seeds from indoors. So this is the setup we have, just regular metal shelving. As I mentioned about the grow lights, we just use LED lights that are actually made for kitchen cabinets. We turn the light on when the sun comes on. We turn the light off after the sun goes down. Try to keep it on for 12 hours a day. Some people have it on timers. You can do that, and we just do it manually. The only requirement for the lights is to be 2000 K. What K stands for, I don't know. That's what I learned. So I don't have to comply with all the requirement for indoor starting seeds as far as light, because this is already next to the window. This is a supplemental light. However, these are $20 a piece, and just LED, and they are 2000 K. You have two levels, high and low. So we use the high. It helps the plants not to grow leaning toward the window, reaching for the lights. That's all the purpose of it. So we have this tray for lettuce. We're gonna put this in the ground when it gets taller and stronger, maybe in a week or two. this one, two different types of tomatoes. And then I'm doing the third one, which you saw me doing the mix in the shop, and I'm going to do broccoli. So for each package of seeds you buy, the backside has all the instructions you probably need. So you would need to read everything on the package. Uh, most of the time, it's going to tell you start seeds indoors, for example, so many weeks before last frost date. Transfer outside so much weeks or days, or as soon as frost is not an issue. So you would do that to find out the first frost date or the last frost date in your zip code. You just search that online. You type last frost date and websites will come. You punch your zip code, it tells you your last frost date and your first frost date. First frost date used for fall gardening, when you're planting something in the fall, so you know when the freeze will come. So you look at the package and you read the maturity days, how many days this seed will become mature plant that you can harvest. And as long as you have enough days from the first frost date, then you can just plant that in ground. You don't need to do indoors for fall gardening. For spring gardening, because we still have frost that can come, and we want longer season, and we also want these plants to be maybe harvested before the extreme heat, we start indoors. That's all about it. So you open the package after you read everything, and I usually squeeze it this way so I can drop the seeds immediately in the holes that I do. So I use a pencil to make holes in the soil, in the seed starting mix. It's already moist, so when you stick the pencil in it, it's gonna make a small hole. You dip it in for the distance that tell you how depth this seed should be planted, and then you cover it, you water it, and that's about it. And then you turn the lights for the trays, and you keep it moist until it's time to transfer it outside. That's all about planting indoors, starting seeds indoors. However, I use several resources. One of them for my state, in Texas, it's a Texas A&M AgriLife extension, and they have spring planting guide for vegetable crops, which means they tell you, according to their studies, when you should plant such and such. So it has a list. This is 4 pages, list of the most common vegetables that are, or actually 3 pages, that people plant in their gardens. And it takes us to 5 different regions. They have a map. You find out, if you're in Texas, you find out which region you belong to. We're right on the edge between region 2 and 3. Most likely you are in region 2. So I use this as a guide, not as a definite time to plant. And it tells you every vegetable. Cabbage in region 2 it should be planted between February 15 to March 10. I'm not going to plant cabbage, but I took that as an example. So that's a resource. I'm going to put a link for it in the description. If you're not in Texas, for sure there is some kind of university or agriculture corporation or whatever, something in your state have something similar like that. You can search it. The other thing I use is my computer. I make a spreadsheet with all the seeds inventory. I bring my seeds inventory, I put them in front of me, and I list them one by one. And I go use the information on the package and the information in this sheet, how many days before or frost date and whatever information on this sheet, and also for each plant I go on YouTube and I watch videos about how to plant this particular plant, and maybe I put a question, best time to plant such and such. So I get more information to decide, and I put the date and the spreadsheet in front of this line. Tomato should be planted February 28th or whatever. And then I sort my sheet by the date. So the earliest need to be planted is on the top and go down. And every day I'm looking at this sheet, and today is the time to plant such and such. I don't have time. Okay? So I'm not gonna plant it, but that's where I'm standing. So I mark that. Now I have another sheet for the actual. List what type of plant, when it was actually planted, when it germinated, and the date expected to be harvested. So I keep track of all that. Many professional gardeners said the best tool for a gardener is a journal. So that I understand last year I didn't do that, and I was like, I don't remember when I did plant the broccoli and when it died or when it did not produce heads and I had to pull it out. And I don't have records for that. This year I will. So if I run into problems, I can use this as a resources to figure out my problems. If I have success, then that will be my template for that particular plant to do next year. And that's how I do it. Again, this is part 2 of how to plant for spring garden. So thank you for sticking around for that much. If you haven't watched part 1, I encourage you to go watch it. I did use my John Deere to remove grass and put beds and put ground. So tomorrow, because today we have very heavy rain, so the ground is soft. So tomorrow, hopefully I will be able to remove a lot of grass by the John Deere to prepare for more and more beds. As I said, I have a lot of seeds, a lot of different types. I have 33 different types of seeds between vegetables, herbs. I have spores for mushroom. I have cover crops and other things. So I have a lot of things. I have an inventory on my computer with all the seeds I have, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So I will keep you in the loop everything I do, I will try to put a small video for, so you would watch. Thank you. If you like what I'm doing, I'm here to encourage you to do the same. I'm not here to teach you how to do it. Each person has their own different circumstances, different situation. You may don't have that many space, or you're in a different situation, but if you're looking forward to do something like that, it is something that you need to figure out according to what your resources and what's your ability, physically or financially or whatever, and you do start something. So thank you. Please subscribe, like, and share if you do like this content, and God bless you.